Hey gorgeous, and welcome to the Claim Your Radiance training. I am so excited to be here. I hope you are just as excited to be watching this video as I am to be filming it. And the reason why I'm doing this training for you today is because I see such a need for women to step more fully into their radiance. So I am dating and relationship expert Lauren Joyce, and I am coming to you from Paris. What a better backdrop for owning your radiance than the city that is made for love and magic. And so I wanted to do this training for you while I was here, while I was getting the inspiration from all that is Paris, to help you feel a little bit more connected to the city, to the magic, to the essence that is Paris, and help you step more fully into your radiance. So during this call or during this training, I'm going to outline 5 steps for you to step more fully into your radiance so that you can become confident and claim being the irresistible woman that you desire to be, and more importantly, learn how to attract in what it is that you desire in terms of love. So I'm going to lay out these 5 steps for you, and then at the end of this training, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an opportunity to go even deeper, to learn this on a deeper level so that you really see a change in a profound way, okay? So before we dive into all of the steps, I want to give you a little bit more about who I am and why the heck am I teaching Radiance. So it may seem to many of you, if you've watched some of my videos before, if you've seen some of my photos, like, oh, it's so easy for Lauren to be radiant and magnetic. But the truth is, in fact, I haven't always been this way. For most of my life, I felt like I repelled men. And that was what really played out. I struggled to get guys to like me, to go on dates. When I finally got my first boyfriend, I put up with way more than I should have. I didn't ask for anything that I wanted because I was trying so hard to be the good girlfriend, because I was afraid that if I wasn't, I would lose him. And I was afraid that if I lost him, no guy would ever like me. So I just was too scared to really claim who I was in that relationship. And I remember this one time, he never complimented me, right? And this one time, I mustered up all of the courage that I had to put on this sexy outfit and to step outside of my comfort zone a little bit and to really be a little risque. And he took one look at me and he was like, "What are you doing? Take that off. Nothing's going to happen here." And there I was, feeling completely and utterly exposed in all senses of the word. I had no idea what to do. I thought he must have been kidding, because I figured this is what he wanted, right? But no, he just continued to stare at me, and my confidence was completely and utterly shot. And from that point on, I had this story that I was not attractive to men, and that in order to get a guy to like me, I had to lead with my accomplishments. So I started pushing more and more in terms of my career, because that gave me a sense of fulfillment. But what it was really doing was masking and covering the feeling of feeling completely and utterly resistible by the man that I loved at the time. And as I continued to push more and more in my career, I did find a sense of fulfillment, but it all came grinding to a halt the day that my dad died. And I felt pain and loss like I had never felt before, and I had no idea what to do with it. And it seemed like everything I had been doing to cover up the insecurities, the self-confidence issues, the fear, it all shattered. And so I had to search for a different way to go about things, and I searched for a different way of being, really. And it was based on pleasure and desire and sensuality. And not only did I see my life transform before my eyes, like I went from the depth of grief and despair to actively creating what I wanted in my life. but I also saw how men responded to me completely differently. They were asking me out, they wanted to talk to me, I would go on a date or two with a guy and he would ask me if I wanted a relationship. So it's completely different than what I had experienced before. So I decided, after learning this way of being based in pleasure and sensuality and in your body, it came so much easier for me than what I had been trying to do, the pushing and the striving and the covering up with my accomplishments, that I thought I have to teach other women how to do the same thing. So here we are. Hence why I am teaching you how to be the magnetic woman in your own life, how to really claim that confidence and that radiance. As part of my journey in claiming my own radiance, travel was a huge part of that. Europe especially, it connected me to a part of myself that I hadn't known before coming here, which is why I felt it's so important to do this training for you from Paris, because this city, more than many others, makes me feel so connected to myself, so grounded, so sensual, and so in my body. So here we go. We're going to dive into the 5 ways to claim your confidence, okay? 5 steps. The first step, are you ready? You have to master an abundant mindset and be clear on your desires. Now, the reason why I put these 2 together is because you can have your desires, you can know what you want, although most women don't. We're going to get into that in a second. Or you can have an abundant, but you may not have an abundant mindset, which means you won't get your desires. You may have an abundant mindset, but you may not be clear on what it is you want, so then you're not going to get what you want. Got it? So 90 out of 100 people, but especially women, have no idea what it is that they desire. And not only that, we've been taught as women to put ourselves last, to give to everyone else, and to save whatever crumbs are left over for ourselves. Not to mention, like, have you ever asked a woman what it is that she wants, or more importantly, what it is she desires? So there's a difference between wanting something that's usually a little wishful and you think it's probably not going to happen. And then there's a desire. And the desire is this part of you. It was placed in you for a reason, and it helps you to become the woman that you're meant to become. And it's something that, yes, you want, but you also know is meant for you, okay? So being clear on your desires, I'm just gonna, sorry about that, pull myself a little closer. Being clear on your desires is not only gonna help you in terms of mastering your mindset, because if you don't know what you want, you can have a good mindset, but there's nowhere to kind of direct that filtering system. But more importantly, what makes a woman so irresistible to men is being so clear on what it is that she desires. So one of my clients, Emily, she came to me and she's like, I want to spend more time with my boyfriend, but I don't think he will. And like, she had all of these limiting beliefs about what her boyfriend was and was not available for. And she also was afraid to start asking for what she wanted because she wasn't sure it was going to happen and she didn't want to be disappointed. We've all been there, right? So when Emily and I started working together, we shifted her into a more abundant mindset, right? So moving from lack, I can't have what I want, to anything is possible, abundance. And getting her really, really clear on what it is that she desired. She's like, you know, Lauren, I hate that I don't spend a lot of time with my boyfriend. I'm like, that's great. That's what you don't want. What is it that you do want? So we got her really clear on what that looked like. And within a month or so, her boyfriend started begging her to hang out, started asking her all the time to hang out. And this was like night and day for what she had experienced before. So being really clear on what it is that you want helps in asking for what you desire, asking for what you want. And having the abundant mindset allows you to more fully ground into the fact that you're worthy of it and you deserve it. And that's why in Confidently Radiant, the 8-week course, we have 2 separate modules, one on mindset and one on desires, because these are core foundational pieces of a magnetic woman. A magnetic woman believes that life doesn't happen to her, it happens for her. And in fact, this training was supposed to be live. However, I was stuck on a train for 3.5 hours more than I needed to be, more than I was supposed to be. And so the entire time, instead of spiraling out into how I wasn't going to be able to do this training live for you and how it was going to be a mess and blah, 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 I just sat there and I'm like, this is happening for me. How can I make the most of this situation? And I have a really incredible present for you at the end of this. And that was born out of staying in the moment of this is happening for me and not to me. So when you're in Confidently Radiant, the 8-week course, you learn how to move your mindset from lack to abundance. And you also learn how to get so crystal clear on your desires and, more importantly, claim a level of deservingness so that you can attract them in. So forget about sitting there and feeling like life is passing you by and you're not getting what you want, because you're going to be so clear on it, and we're going to learn how to tailor your mindset to narrow in on exactly what you desire and attract it in. So that's step one. Move from a lack mindset to an abundant mindset and be crystal clear on your desires. Step two, using beauty as a sacred practice. Now, the reason why this is step two is because this is where the confidence comes from, your beauty. Now, with my clients, I really encourage them to see beauty as more of a feeling versus an outward appearance, right? So you can be in a space that's really beautiful and that can make you feel really good. You can be outwardly expressing your own beauty and that can make you feel really good. So many women think that beauty has to look or be a certain way, and that's just not the case. Not only is that not the case, but some of the most influential women in history, ones that have yielded their beauty, their, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess beauty is the best one I can come up with at the moment. Women that have yielded their beauty to gain power and influence when a woman wasn't allowed to have any were some of the most conventionally unattractive women of their time. But they had this confidence from within. They took care of themselves and their bodies. And so it really started on this inner peace, this feeling of feeling beautiful. So when you start to feel beautiful, it really shifts things because you really start to feel like you are the prize. Yeah? Making sense? Okay, good. So we've been given our bodies, our looks, our hair. Like it or not, this is what we have. Unless you decide to do plastic surgery, no judgment, just saying, outside of plastic surgery, you got what you got. Once you can start to own what it is you have and see taking care of your body and your aesthetic beauty as like a ritualistic practice, it helps you to feel more and more confident. And that's why in Confidently Radiant, we dive into the rituals of beauty and confidence so that you start to cultivate this feeling of groundedness, of luminescence, of radiance, really, that you get to bring into the world. So one of my clients, Johanna, when she came to me, she's a former accountant and, was a lifeguard. She didn't really put too much into her looks. She always looked well put together, but it was more so for appearance sake versus how she felt. So then after we started working together and getting her more into her body, she found that she really loved these flowy goddessly dresses. And it was such a far cry from how she had been brought up and the career that she used to have that it actually released and unleashed a part of her that she didn't even know was there. So when she started tapping into that, she was receiving more attention from men. She was getting free wine. And so you can see that once you tap into the feeling of beauty, and more importantly, the rituals necessary to cultivate prolonged confidence, you really can make a huge difference in your life, which is why in Confidently Radiant, we really help you strip down any negative belief systems or anything that's blocking you on owning your own beauty, and step into these rituals for prolonged confidence. Yep, so that's step 2, seeing your beauty as a sacred practice. Step 3 is what I call the Holy Trinity of femininity: pleasure, sensuality, and sexuality. Now, this is something you're not going to see in a lot of other trainings from other coaches who talk about dating and love and relationships. In fact, this is the area that I see missing the most, especially, and I love them, the male dating coaches. I love my male colleagues, right? And they talk a lot about how to approach a guy, what to say, what to text back. All of that stuff is amazing. We do that too in Confidently Radiant. But here's the difference, ladies. No man will ever be able to teach you how to be a woman. And guess what? The essence of a woman is what a masculine man is so attracted to. So yes, those male dating coaches, I love them to death. However, they're never going to teach you what it means to be a woman. And the Holy Trinity of that feminine essence is pleasure, sensuality, and sexuality. So what does this look like? As you heard in my journey and in my story, once I really started living from a place where I was putting my pleasure first, where I was really tapping into sensuality, that's when men started responding to me differently. Why? This is the radiance piece. Radiance is an inside job, and it's only when you start to tap into your body, but more importantly, your pleasure, sensuality, and sexuality, that you unlock your radiant power. And that is what men are so attracted to. So in Confidently Radiant, we have a whole module on how do you step into this? How do you tap into your pleasure, your sensuality, and your sexuality in a safe way? Because so many women who I talk to, they're like, Lauren, I want to be radiant and I want to be magnetic, but I'm afraid that it's going to be dangerous or that men are going to get the wrong idea. So in Confidently Radiant, I teach you my clear step-by-step process to make sure that you feel safe in your radiance. Yeah, again, this is something that those male dating coaches, they're not going to teach you. And in fact, a lot of other female dating coaches don't talk about this. Why? They still have issues with their own sensuality, their own sexuality. And hey, that's fine. There's people out there who can teach you a whole host of issues. But if you really want to know the core of stepping into your magnetic essence, to your feminine essence, it starts with this Holy Trinity of sexuality, sensuality, and pleasure. So one of my clients, Sharina, she is such an incredible entrepreneur, and her partner work in their business together. And she came to me and she's like, Lauren, I'm away from my man right now, and I want to make him really miss me, not in like a weird manipulative way, but in a way where she's like, I want to bring that like fire, that spark back from when we first started dating. So we started working on tapping her into her sensuality, feeling into her body, really leading with what brought her pleasure. And while she was away, her man was like all over. He was like, what time do you need picked up at the airport? I'll be there early. He's sending her photos of himself, telling her how much he missed her. She's like, Lauren, he hasn't done this before when I've been traveling. Men can sense when a woman is deeply grounded into her pleasure, sensuality, and sexuality. This is one of the reasons that when I go out with a lot of my female friends who are all attractive, who are all very successful, if not even more successful than me, I'm the one that gets the men running out of restaurants just to thank me for my presence that evening. I'm the one who I have men stopping on the street corner, asking for my phone number when I'm surrounded by gorgeous women. I'm the one that when we go into a restaurant and everyone's pleasant and friendly, I get the free bottle of wine. Because men are drawn to that magnetic essence. And here's the best part, ladies. It's completely and utterly inherent. You have it inside of you, which is why in Confidently Radiant, I give you the step-by-step system to turn your radiance on and turn it up. So no more feeling like you're the girl that every guy looks past or that you're invisible to men. It's your time to shine. So that's step 3. Step 4 is emotional mastery and being able to communicate your needs without being needy. So what does that mean? This all comes down to the fact that we as women especially are emotional beings, and we haven't been taught how to fully express all of our emotions. So if you think of a piano, there's all the white keys and all the black keys, right? Let's call those black keys, I call them heavier emotions, and the white keys are the lighter emotions. Some people call them light and dark. I don't like to call them dark. It gives this horrible connotation because there's so much gold in those emotions as well. So I call them heavier emotions: sadness, anger, frustration, grief, resentment. You get the picture. Think of one of the most influential piano pieces you've ever heard, right? Or a Mozart symphony. The pianist uses all of the keys, the white ones and the black ones. That's what makes it so beautiful. If they just use the white ones, it would sound flat. If they just used the dark ones, the black ones, it wouldn't sound good either. And if they only used 8 of them, it's going to be chopsticks. And I think even chopsticks uses more than 8 keys on the piano. But we've been taught to only express such a limited range of emotions. So what happens is we experience emotion, and then we're taught to shut it down. And think of your radiance as an actual light bulb inside of you. We're going to think about it as like a dimmer, right? And when you shove your emotions down, it's like you're caking mud on top of your light bulb. And then this pressure builds up and builds up and builds up. So then what happens is you want your guy to pick you up at the airport, and he doesn't, and you explode on him because you've been shoving all of these emotions down. When you learn how to claim emotional mastery, you can alchemize even those heavier emotions to be a source of your radiance and to help you claim what it is that you desire in terms of asking for what you want from men. So in Confidently Radiant, we dive into what does emotional mastery actually look like, and what do men need in order to stay committed in a relationship in terms of communication. So I'm going to give you the 3 specific keys that men absolutely positively need to stay committed in a relationship. So one of my clients, Karen, she comes to me and she's like, has had a lot of stuff happen to her and a lot of pent-up emotion, and we really helped her in this space of emotional mastery and learning how to alchemize her emotions. And she called me a few weeks ago and she's like, Lauren, I went to the deli and the deli man gave me free meat, and men were opening the doors for me, and I asked if I could pay with an American Express, and he said, not for anyone else except for you. She's like, I felt like I was channeling you. Because when you learn emotional mastery, you take that mud off of your light bulb, off of your radiance. And then you can clearly ask for what it is that you want in a way that men understand. So in my former career, I was actually a language interpreter. I was a translator. And I consider myself, for women, a translator with men. So I help you break down what they mean when they say certain things. Exact phrases and sentences to say to men to get exactly what it is you want without coming off as needy and desperate. So that's step number 4. Step number 5 is opening up to receive. Whew, this one is a doozy, and here's why. Again, we've been taught to put ourselves dead last on the scale, and just to accept the scraps whenever they come. And my love, that is not how it is meant to work. As women, our natural state is receiving. Have you ever tried to give a woman a compliment? She will do anything and everything to push that compliment off. So, hi, oh my gosh, I like your shirt. Oh, this, well, it's actually kind of old and there's like a hole right here. Or, oh, I don't really like it. It's not really my color. Right? We have such a hard time even accepting compliments. Have you ever had someone offer to help you with your groceries? We typically are like, no, we got it. Why? We live in a world that teaches us that our value is based on what we can do. But guess what? That's not what men want. men want to give to us, so you have to learn how to become a master at receiving. So in Confidently Radiant, I teach you how to receive with ease. Oh, yeah. Did you know that there's a direct link between your relationship with men and your relationship with money? So if you feel like you're not really receiving the amount of wealth and abundance that you'd like in your life, when you unblock yourself with men and receiving from men, you unblock yourself financially. One of my clients, within 2 months of us started working together, her boss gave her a $15,000 raise, or bonus, a $15,000 bonus, because she started unlocking her ability to receive with men. So it's all connected, which is why in Confidently Radiant, the last module is all about learning how to receive and doing it with ease and really returning to that natural state. That's how you take your life from okay to good, and then good to better. And that's how you step into my life just gets better and better and better. So those are the 5 steps for you, ladies. Mastering your abundant mindset and being clear on your desires, seeing beauty as a sacred practice, the Holy Trinity of femininity, emotional mastery and communicating without being needy, and learning how to receive and surrender. So those are the 5 steps to really claim your confidence and your radiance, really. Now, as you heard me talk a lot during this training, Confidently Radiant, it starts on Monday. Can you believe it? Like, I'm so freaking excited. These modules are amazing. And so because I wasn't able to be live with you here today, I have something really, really special for you. So for the next 24 hours only, 24 hours, I'm taking $200 off the price of the course. So in the email with this training is a code for you to use at checkout. There's 2 different ways that you can pay for the course, and you'll get $200 off. And this is just everything works out for me and not to me, right? I was thinking about how I could be even more generous with you, especially because I couldn't be here live. So Confidently Radiant, we start on Monday. It's an 8-week-long course where we dive into how to move into an abundant mindset, how to get clear on your desires so you can ask for what it is that you want, really stepping into your own unique beauty, tapping into that Holy Trinity of femininity, learning emotional mastery and how to communicate with ease, and learning how to open up and receive. Now, here's the deal though, ladies. This course has 3 live Q&A calls with me. And the reason why I'm doing this is because high-level support and accountability is what's going to fast-track you in getting the results and success that you desire. But this is the only time, only time, this course will be offered with the live Q&A component. So without that live Q&A component, of course, the course would be great. However, this is what's going to really help you quantum leap to what it is that you desire. Not to mention, we have a closed online community just for this course where you can continue to receive support from me during the 8 weeks. So this is the last weekend for you to register for the course. And again, just as an apology and a generous gift, I want to give you $200 off if you sign up in the next 24 hours. 24 hours only. You get $200 off. Now, I know you may be sitting there and you're like, I don't know if I should invest the money. I don't know that I have the time. How do I know this is going to work? So here's the deal. If you're not sure about whether or not to invest the money, the universe is watching. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself, what guy is going to be willing to invest in you? As I mentioned, there's a clear and direct link between a woman's relationship to money and her relationship to men. So when you can really step into and claim your worthiness and really take that bet and risk on yourself and invest financially in yourself, men show up in a different way in your life. You attract in higher quality men. The man in your life shows up in a higher way. Yeah. If you're unsure of whether or not you have the time, I hate to tell you, unless you start making love a priority, it's never going to weasel its way into your schedule. And I don't know about you, but I can probably count a few hours a week that I waste just scrolling through Facebook and watching television. And Confidently Radiant is made with specific, effective, and efficient tools and rituals to help you fast track your success. So we're not talking about 50-page modules and 30 hours of work every week. We're talking about things that fit into your schedule. And if you don't have time for that, you're not going to have time for a guy, or you're not going to have time for the love that you desire. And if you don't have time for a guy or the love that you desire, that's fine, but stop wasting your time and whining about how you want love. Because if you're not willing to make the time for yourself, no guy is going to find the time for you. And let's just talk about this last one. I'm not sure it'll work for me. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that Confidently Radiant is going to work, but I will tell you this. I have curated this course with my experience, everything I've learned, not to mention all of the stuff that I've seen my clients go through, to give you the most efficient, effective tools, techniques, and rituals to help you tap into your radiance and step even more boldly into your confidence. So, like with anything, it is what you put in. If you're not really ready to make this commitment, that's fine. But if you're on the fence because you're not sure it's going to work, try something new. This is your chance to take a different action to see a different result. Because what I can guarantee you is if you continue to do the same thing, which is not take Confidently Radiant or not change your behavior, you're going to continue to see the same results. That for sure I can guarantee you. So again, you have 24 hours to claim this $200 off Confidently Radiant. If you have any questions, shoot me over an email and we start on Monday, my love. Have a great night.